Hello, Pelle here from PatchXR with another video for you. And today we're going to talk about audio effects. And to showcase a few different audio effects, I have made a new demo patch for you. So if you go to Demos, Building, and then load the Effects Tutorial patch here, you will see this patch. Alright, let's start over here. So this is the sound that we're going to be working with. We have just an oscillator being controlled by a decay into an output, like that. It's a pretty nice sound, but let's see what effects we can apply to change the sound or make it more interesting. And the first effect that we're going to look at is a very basic one. It is a low pass and high pass filter. So as you probably know, the low pass filter will remove the high frequency content from the sound to make it more dull or less bright. So let's hear how it sounds. So compared to the original, it is much less sharp. This is done using this low pass block here. And we can change the cutoff of the filter with this input. And we can change the Q factor of the filter. Just like the low pass, we also have a high pass filter that has exactly the same controls. And this will remove the low frequency content from the sound and keep only the bright part. And we have just the same controls, frequency and Q factor. All right, moving on. One of the main ideas with Patch is that you can build your own audio effects. And a simple effect you can build is a delay or echo effect. And if we look at this small patch here, we have this part over here, which is just the same as our original sound. And we have our output. And here in the middle, we have one way of making a delay effect. And you can see that it's only actually 4 blocks. So what happens in this patch is that we get the sound from over here. Oh, triggered it. It passes through this adder here, and it is then split. So it is both sent to the output, but it is also sent back around through this multiplier that decreases the amplitude, and then through this block, the delay block, that is going to delay the signal by the number of seconds that you specify through this input here. So the sound goes around these 2 blocks and then into the adder and then back around again. So it's going to keep circling around, and each time another delay is added. And that will give us this lovely echo effect. You can change the number or for how long the echoes ring out by changing the multiplier here. If it's at 1, it will keep going forever. If it's low, we only get very few repeats. You can change the delay time here. And of course, you can make some other patch that controls both of these. Now, a fun exercise that you can try for yourself is to modify the echo effect here by introducing a low pass, like we have over here, into the feedback loop so that more and more of the high frequencies get removed every time around. Cool. Okay, but let's say you don't really feel like making your own delay effect and you just want something that is ready to be used. Well, I got good news for you because we have just that, and it's called the P delay subpatch, and it actually pretty implements pretty much the same here as this patch, but with a few additions and this nice high-level interface for you to play around with. So let's hear it. This one actually already has this low pass in the feedback loop. So you hear the high frequency content of the echoes disappear. It is also tied to the global tempo of your patch, so that is nice to keep everything in sync, and it also has a dry wet mix and a high pass. So yeah, that's ready for you to use. Moving on to something that is not a delay, but still actually uses the delay block inside for the implementation is this chorus subpatch. And you probably know what a chorus effect sounds like. It sounds kind of like this. So it's a bit more subtle, but there is this movement to the sound now that just makes it a bit more like full-bodied. Fun fact is that a chorus and a flanger is actually implemented in exactly the same way. So if you just put the parameters the right way, it will actually sound like a flanger. And I put that as an exercise here. So let's look at turn the chorus into a flanger by setting the params to delay 2 milliseconds. Try that. Mod delay. So mod delay, that is how much this delay time is modulated. How fast the modulation goes, we put that to 0.5. And the feedback amount, we put that to 0.7. The dry mix, let's put it all the way up to 1. And we have more of a flanger effect. Let's make it really intense. Nice. A similar effect is a phaser, which we have implemented in the P phaser subpatch. It is actually looks a lot like a chorus or flanger on the inside, but it uses all pass filters instead of delays, and it sounds kind of like this. So we still have this movement going on, but it's a bit more subtle than the flanger, for example. All right, and these subpatches are ready for you to use. How do I actually use these subpatches, you might ask? And let me show you that. We're just going to make a new patch. And let's say I want the phaser subpatch. I open my palette, I press load, and we get this. It's called the radial menu, and it's kind of an old UI element that we're trying to get rid of, but yeah, we have to bear with it for now. So I go to browse patches, and then I go around here, demos, and then I go to sound and dependencies, and here I will find the phaser, and then I can press import as subpatch. Here we go. What happened? Where is the subpatch? Subpatches sometimes spawn in kind of weird locations, so let's just look around. Oh, there it is. And it is now ready to use in our patch. If we want to have a look at how the subpatch is actually put together, we can press the thing up here, and we will see the inside of the patch. We can actually edit stuff in here, but I would not recommend doing that because if you save your current patch and reload it later, your changes that you have made in here will be reset to the original settings of the subpatch. And the same actually goes, and this is a bit confusing, the same goes for the parameters here, because these are actually part of the subpatch. So if you want to make changes to these and keep them when you save your patch, one way of dealing with this is to go into, oh, where are we? Basic, and we go to, and we get a spacer. And the spacer is normally used to just add some space between blocks, but we can also use it as a handy knob that we can just plug in here, and we can set the value here. And doing this, um, the value will be saved when we save our patch. And of course, let me just load up the effects tutorial again. Of course, we can like build patches and plug into the inputs of these subpatches. That is kind of the entire point of patch. So, for example, we can get a an oscillator. Oh, there we go. Let's put the frequency all the way down, so it will act as an LFO. And we can plug it into feedback, for example. So now we have some modulation of the feedback. We can also try with the chorus. Great. So lots of fun stuff to to try there, plugging stuff into the subpatches. If you actually want to like explore the subpatch a bit more or change some stuff inside of it, what you do is that you just open the quick hub and you go to demos, go to sound, dependencies, the same as we did with the radial menu, but now you just load up the your effect as a patch. For example, the chorus. And here we see the patch and we see the panel. You can actually hide the stuff by pressing the toggle here, the preview. And now you can go ahead and and edit the stuff inside, and it will be saved or it will be updated in all of the patches that uses the chorus subpatch. All right, I think that was it for effects. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next time.